Everyone, it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and I'm kicking off today's plan with me. I will end up filming tomorrow as well because it is actually Saturday, but I have a couple of updates. I worked on a little bit of something for the following week already. So before we get to that part of it, I am going to show you guys how I have the folio set up. Because I needed both pens, I went ahead and just clipped the inner gel Clenna on this piece, just like stuck on the planner, and then I can close it in. It does stick up, but it doesn't really bother me. And I found that that has worked really nicely. So I can still write in my Sterling ink common planner and still have my Sharpie S gel pen for my other books. So I've been using this. I have had the same setup all week long and I've really liked it. I'll talk more about it tomorrow, but I just wanted to show you my cute little pen setup there. And then I want to walk through one of the changes I'm making, and I'll of course show you guys my entire setup as I change things out tomorrow. But the one main thing that I thought during this week is I did not like the page in there, just ripped out. So I'm going to do something different next week, and I have it set up like so. I was originally just going to use these first two pages in the book, but then I decided I didn't like the little flap thing in the middle, and also the stencil is not that great with these Moxie markers. These are very juicy, and as it like spreads more ink, it goes outside the lines, and you can see it done a little bit at the corners of a lot of these, and really badly on the flag, and I just did not like the way it looked at all. So I decided I didn't like that. I wanted a redo, and I didn't like this. So I ended up just flipping the page and starting over, and that's the joy of these undated ones. You totally can do that sometimes. So that is what I did. And you could notice down here, I still had the same thing going on. I had the stencil bookmark lined up and just really quickly made the little lines within the boxes so that they were all the same length and same distance apart, and they work great. If you guys can see that, I'm gonna zoom in for you guys so you guys can see the stencil bookmark lines up with all of the dog grids, and I think it also lines up with all of the lines in the main planners. I'm not sure about these lines. These ones look a little bit skinnier to line up with. Maybe they do, but it's a tighter fit on these little lines. So I really like how they did that. They made those lines work with all of the check mark things, which is fun, but I found that I just didn't like the way that these flags looked specifically. So I did end up using the S gel pen to make the flags for these, and I just used some Moxie marker colors for everything. Just made it kind of rainbowy, and then the gray for the checklist. So these are going to be my checklists, and I ended up spacing it out to where I can just write in the tasks and appointments and things for each day, except Saturday and Sunday are going to share. And then down here I've got my weekly to-do list, and I thought I could even like update this and have this be a daily to-do list. I've got these cute little things from Hubman and Chub Girl, and I do have a coupon code for them. I also have a coupon code for Makselife in the description box, but these actually are not sticky notes. They're just little papers. They came with my monthly kit as like a little freebie, and I just stuck a little washi tape on there. This is from Create with Pen, and it's super cute. It's got little foiling on there, and I thought I would just tape one of these on every day if I want to have like a daily checklist. I don't know if I'm going to need one for every day, but I thought I could do that in this case for next week. So I still have to write in my goals. I still have to do my reflections and everything. This is what the spread's going to look like for my weekly part of my planner. I do have daily planners I may incorporate in with this one, but this is my weekly for this week. It's just this page. I was like, I totally can just make this work in the actual book and not have to rip the page out, because I did not like having the page inside here just kind of floating around. It was kind of annoying. So that was my first step. I just worked on this last night, and I wanted to show you guys, and I'm missing one of my gel nails. They're all going to come off tonight. I think I'm going to redo them tonight. So that's what it looks like. That's my first step, and I can't wait to reorganize this and make my planner setup a little bit different for next week. I really love the folio system, and I can totally see myself continuing to use this in conjunction with my everyday weekly planner. I think it's just a really nice setup, and I've really liked it this week. So I'm going to just change it up for the next week. And now we're going to cut to the clip for tomorrow, where I actually do all my reflections, goal setting, changing out my actual planner. And today I'm going to have a plan with me for you guys. I am super excited about this because I really enjoyed using this planner folio all week long. I'm going to be sticking with this all month and trying out different contents. It does, it is refillable, so you can put whatever little A5 books, in my case this is a B6, put whatever little books you want inside of it. And I'm going to be switching up all of the books for this week. I've got 4 different books to show you guys, and I ended up going ahead and doing some planning in this one. You guys saw how I set this one up, and really like the way that this one works. And I'm going to actually use this in conjunction with the daily. I don't know how much I'm actually going to use the daily, and you can see I have not done any goal setting stuff at all. I'll probably end up filming a little bit tomorrow. It is pretty late in the day, so I'll probably work on my reflections a little bit after I set this up. And that's pretty much it. So I am going to be keeping my same stickers. I'm going to still be using this sterling ink, but it's not going to go in here. I found that it was really hard to like write with that little elastic band there. It definitely made a bump on both sides of the paper. So I'm going to leave this one out, because if you leave it out, it actually does lay really nice and flat for the most part. Like you can see it's lumping up, but I'm in the middle of the book. I'm in the middle of the book doing my journaling. I can lay it pretty flat and get all the way to the grid lines. I found that it was a little bit harder to get to that middle part of this. So this one won't go in that, because I do a lot of journaling in that. If I were just using it for an actual planner, I wouldn't mind having it in there, but it's not going to go in. So I'm going to have 4 different inserts in there. I did end up liking the weekly, I ended up liking the wellness, and I ended up liking the gratitude as well. So I'm just going to take them all out. I will use these at other points in time. They're all undated things, so they'll work for whenever. And so we're going to put these in. Since this one is going to be my weekly spread, I'm going to have this one in first and just shove it in here. That's going to be my first thing up, and I will, you know, add little tabs to everything. And then I've got my wellness planner, my gratitude, and then a daily planner. I'm going to stick the daily next. I really, really love how this one looks. I love the neutral colors of this one. It's the new floral pattern called In Bloom, and I really, really like it. Soft, nice colors, and this is just a quarterly planner. This one is dated, so I wanted to make sure I'm using it for this month. So our week will be this week. Where are we? The 5th. So it'll be the 5th today. I'll probably start it on Monday. And then I've got gratitude and wellness. I'll put wellness and then gratitude, because I feel like that flowed really nicely, and both of these are undated. So I can just use a week's worth of these, and it's just a different wellness planner. I'll show you. It's kind of interesting. This is an Erin Condren gratitude journal, whereas the one I used last week was a plum paper planner journal. So I don't know how I ended up with 2 of these. I just must have clicked on 2 different ones because they're different colors, but they're just slightly ever so different. And it's not that big a deal. Like, they're both set up really nicely. I like how this one kind of flowed across, where Monday kind of flowed across both pages, Tuesday and onward. They kind of lined up a little bit. And this one is the same way. It lines up across the page really nicely. Even better, actually, than this one did. But this one also has places to write in your water intake, your steps, and your hours slept, rather than having a habit tracker. So I think this one may work a little bit better, and it does have like headers on the top, whereas the other one was kind of loose interpretation, which of course I use for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack anyway, so it's not a big deal. And so yeah, I'm going to use this. It does change colors like from month to month on here. I'm not going to use the monthly progress pages or anything, but let's see. I'll just go ahead and use one of these first pages because it's aqua and it's a cute little gradient, so I'll end up using that. This is the color blends kind of color, so I'll set that one up. I've got the daily page that's already dated. I've got my page here that's already dated here because I worked on it, but I haven't done my goal setting yet, so that is on the list to do. I'll keep my same stickers in here. And let's see if it closes decently. Oh, it's very thick with 4 big thick things in, so it will close, but it's tight. So there you go. There is what it's going to look like for now, and I will still be using this. I'll show you guys my week last week. This is what it looks like. So we had our dance competition. This one was in Austin, so it was just, you know, part of the day, like half a day we were there, and she got first place, which I was super proud. She's worked so hard on her dance, and I actually ended up painting my nails to match her costume. She's got blue with a lot of rhinestones on it, so it's really sparkly, and I matched her costume with my nails. That was a fun little thing I did, and yeah, now it's planner time, so that's what we're working on right now. I think I'm gonna work on my reflection a little bit, and yeah, my brain's kind of fried from all the dance excitement, so I may end up working on it a little bit and then coming back to it. We'll just have to see how far I get. I did end up writing in my wins, but not coloring these, so I'm gonna go ahead and highlight these. I've just been using the Moxie markers to highlight these, and I'll show you guys the whole week. You can pause if you wanna read any of that information. It's just my wins of the day, and sometimes it's very small, like I was reading some stuff, like small stuff. Sometimes it's bigger things, but it's mostly just like trying to think of positive things that happened that are towards my goals or towards getting my life together. That one, let's see, work on next week's planners. And then anything with family, I do purple. So it's not necessarily a goal for like it to be a successful dance competition, but it's definitely a family event. So I put that on there. And then this one is physical environment. And last one is the health and wellness, which is like the bluish color. It's intuitive eating at lunch. So we came home pretty late from the dance competition. I had eaten breakfast tacos early in the day, and then by the time I was home, I was starving because it was way past actual lunchtime. And I made myself a big charcuterie plate, just a whole big regular sized dinner plate full of different charcuterie things. And I stopped when I was full. I was really proud of myself for not just eating the whole thing just because it was right in front of me. I really was mindful with it. I called that one a win. I thought that was good. Also, did I say I printed the Project Life? I'm gonna end up writing it twice, I feel like, because I feel like I already had written it, but I ended up getting all of those Project Life spreads printed, so I am totally gonna write that in. It's supposed to be orange. Maybe I did it earlier in the week. Nope, okay. I'm gonna write it in as a win for today, but I actually did it yesterday because that was a big one. Big part of my goal is to print all those Project Life spreads. That'll be a fun video to make, is organizing all of those. And then that is the orange section, which is fun and recreation, but I call it scrapbooking mostly. Okay, so that's it with the Moxie markers. I really love how this looks at the end of the week where you get like the rainbow effect. So I'm all about that, and look, I knocked it out of the park with all of the habits this week. I feel like I'm getting more into a routine of doing the same habits. So that was last week. We'll go through and cross off things and bring things to the next thing. I did stick to the routine, worked on my Japanese practice. I did work on reviewing vocab. I did end up also, there's a bunch of verbs. I have them all on here. They're all kind of mixed up. There we go. So I've got them all written out, and I've been practicing all of these verbs, which is good. So I'll be able to make sentences with these guys coming up here soon. Okay, we did not do this. I don't know if I'm gonna even get to it. And then I printed all those 15-minute crafty sessions, photo a day. I gotta get on that for today. I haven't done that one yet. And find new routine when feeling good, and that didn't happen this week because ice storm. Like, it was rough. And sticking to budget, and I did really good on our grocery budget. I made it planned out for a week and a half, and I'm hoping to stretch it for 2 weeks, and it was not as expensive as the weeks have been being, so I'm very proud of that. I worked really hard on that. Keeping up with puppy chaos is working. Power tens are working. Hang gym fans totally did not happen. So there you go. A couple of X's. It was crazy, guys. The ice storm was insane. I need to do a whole like story time on ice storm. And like 0 out of 10, do not recommend getting a puppy right before an ice storm. I mean, of course, we are already scheduled to get the puppy. We didn't know there was an ice storm coming until like the day before everything happened. Johnny had gone to work Monday, and he came home by like 10:30, and I heard the garage. I walked over to the door, opened it, and looked out, and I was like, what is he doing home? And he's like, there's a big ice storm coming. And he's like, just to be safe, I want to be home. I don't want to be, at the office and have to commute in an ice storm or whatever. But I was kind of shocked. It's like, okay, like people are overreacting. Well, no, they weren't. It was crazy. It was almost like snowpocalypse a few years back where a lot of people lost power. We ended up with a boil water notice for a day and a half. We did not lose power, but our lights flickered so many times, and it like tripped everything so many times. And it was like almost like war flashbacks. Every time the lights would flicker, I'd kind of freak out because of what happened a few years back. It was rough. It just was all around horrible. It just rained, freezing rain for days and days. And throughout all of that, I had a puppy to take outside. So we were like taking turns, taking puppy out, and it was just freezing. Super duper glad that now it's warm. I've been outside most of the last couple days because it's warmed up finally. Anyway, that's the story time I have for the ice storm. Let's go ahead and work on the reflections. And of course my wins. There's 5 questions. It's wins, what worked, what didn't work, lessons learned and adjustments needed. It's 5 questions, but I put all my wins here so I don't redo the wins. I just do 4. So I'm going to write those out, and I'm going to use 2 different colors of pink. I'm feeling pinky today, so we're going to do it like this. I'm not sure I like that. So I'm trying to blend it together a little bit. I give up. We're not going to do that. I don't like it. We're scratching that plan. we're just gonna go over everything with this. All right, that's what it looks like. I don't like this part, but we're gonna just pretend I didn't do that part. And yeah, so I don't know why I used my Energel pen. I've been reaching for this one more and more. I really, really like it. We're gonna go back to my Sharpie S gel pen. I think that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot. It was just, you know, a very slow week. Basically, Olivia went to school Monday and that was it. Like both kids were home. We were trapped at home because there was so much ice on the road for a few days. And then it was just crazy. And our poor trees in the backyard, they just got pummeled with ice. I have video footage of everything. I'll do a story time at some point, but it was insane. So I'm just kind of still reeling from that. We've had a really nice weekend catching our breath from all of that. So this is kind of simple and easy. And my goals again this week are going to be pretty much repeats from last week because we've got a new puppy and it was tricky. The working out, very tricky with the puppy. You know, you have to keep an eye on him like the whole time. You're on call 24/7. So that was tricky. Like I only really could work out when I knew Johnny was able to watch the puppy. And of course he works during the day. So it's not like I can just kind of sneak away at any time. And there was one day during all of this where I just needed a nap. He had woken me up a bunch of times and I could not fall back asleep. I think he woke me up at like 4:30 or something like that. And I put him back in the crate, went to lay down again, and he was chewing on some toys and I just could not go back to sleep. So I woke up literally at 4:30 one morning after, you know, him already waking me up earlier in the night, after going to bed a little bit too late because I stormed through everything off on our routine and I just needed a nap. So he came and worked by the dog kennel so that I could go take a couple hour nap because I had hit the wall that day. And then I had pretty much almost had a breakdown when everything was starting to thaw and I was like, yes, finally we can breathe again. And then we were under a boil water notice for a day and a half. I was like, this is gonna break me, guys. Like one of the days in my Sterling ink, you know, this is like writing gratitude, what I'm thankful for, what I'm looking forward to. And one of the days, that day, I'm just like, I can't think of anything right now. Like I know I have so much to be thankful for, but I am really having a struggle because of this boil water notice. It's just like the last straw and I was like really losing it and getting down in the dumps that day. But we finally made it through. We have water, we have power, we have no more ice. Everything's working out, but it really just messed up a lot of my routine and a lot of my working out did not happen with any of that. So it's again, same old thing on here. I'm gonna change these around. Actually, I did end up doing my power sheets. I didn't include this in my February goals because I did not actually do it early in the February goals. So I did end up filling this out. You can see I haven't updated it for the weekends yet, but I did the same kind of concept I did last month where I put the numbers on and whatever, and I've got my routine things here, and these are the ones I'm going to try to do. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 on here. So I thought I would make them my 7. So I'm changing this up completely this next week, which is different. So this is my weekly wins page. I'm just going to literally copy these same ones over from here. So it's just the exact same thing. And you know what, having a puppy, it really forces me to go to bed on time. So I don't even feel like I need to check mark that one because the whole week that he's been here has been, I have to go to bed when he goes to bed so that I can get sleep because I know he's gonna wake me up one time at night or really early in the morning and I'll be up for the day really early in the morning. So it's really forced me to get on a good sleep pattern. Like he goes to bed, I go to bed. So that's helpful. And I have my PM routine on here, all the same things. I will start checking these off starting tomorrow on Monday. So I'm excited about that being a little bit different. I was getting kind of used to these ones. Getting kind of used to these ones. You can see I knocked it out of the park this last week. The only ones left are Scrappy, 15, and then Bed on Time, which I do later in the day. So goals, I think these are going to be basically the same. So I'm going to spend some time working on these and then I will come back and talk you through them but they're going to be very repetitive, I think. Alrighty, we have goals. I worked on these last night and then I wanted to film them today. I ended up getting Cloudlet a new crate that's going to stay in here, and it's going to be his travel crate for a while until he outgrows it. Medium-sized metal giant crate. I was moving the big one back and forth. For my AM routine, I will get up with him sometime early in the morning. Sometimes it's well before 5 a.m. and sometimes it's after 5 a.m. It just depends on him. And we will play. I'll get some of his energy out, give him some water, like spend some time with him. And when he's ready for his first nap, I bring that giant honking crate in here in the morning. And we're talking like, 5 a.m. I'm hauling this big giant crate across the house into this room. And I was like, no, we got to get another crate. It's also the crate I was taking him to the vet in. And it's so big. It takes up the entire trunk area in my SUV. And yeah, so we needed a smaller one that can travel a lot easier and it can stay in this room when we're not like going to the vet or going somewhere with him. So I'm very excited about that he's in his new crate, but that means it will be loud. He's chewing on a bully stick. He's like moving around, adjusting himself, just making a lot of noise. So you'll maybe hear that in the background. So I have my goals written in my big planner. This is the one I write my planner wins in. It's a Makselife flagship planner. It's the full year. And then in here, I've got the companion notebook that I wrote my weekly spread in, but I haven't written my goals in here yet. So that's going to be my next step. I'm just going to walk you guys through these as I dot them. And they are the same goals that I have had from week to week, very similar things. Some of them are worded a little bit differently. And I ended up making a thank you card just a little while ago. He's licking my finger now. So I'm not sure about the Valentine card this week. I did end up making 2 thank you cards. I'm going to write that in, even though it's already done. But that was also a goal of mine, is to get a thank you card made. I needed one. And then I did print the Project Life spreads, but I went to pay for Apple Pay. It looked like it went through, and then I never got an email about it. I never got an order showing up in the app itself. So I don't know what happened. I've got to check my credit card and make sure that I didn't get charged for it. It was like 80 something spreads. So it was almost $200 worth of layouts that I was printing. And so I don't know what happened. I don't know if it just went into a black hole, didn't work, but I've got to make sure it's not on my credit card. I'm going to have to contact them as well to make sure it didn't go through, because I don't want to have to reorder and then, pay twice. Like if it did end up going through and I'm just not seeing it and then I redo it, that's a lot of extra money. It's almost $200. I don't want to accidentally order a second order. So I'm going to double, triple, quadruple check and make sure that it's not there. So let's go ahead and go down the list here. Yellow is personal. I'm going to be working on my verb flashcards for my Japanese. I've got a set of verbs to learn, and then I'm going to still work on the vocab review. I haven't done any new lessons recently. I did like one this last week, but most of it is just reviewing. And then my AM PM routine, it's the same old I've been working on. I'm just trying to find my new normal with Cloudlet, because it's, it's puppy. It's like a brand new tiny baby at this point. And then in the next section here, I do the pink. This is fun and recreation. I'm trying to do a 15-minute crafty session. I totally did that today with making thank you cards. I want to make a Valentine card and maybe one for each girl too. And then thank you card, I really need one. So I've got that done now. And then for work and learning, that is this channel. I want to have 3 videos per week. And then on Tuesday, if we don't have any more ice storms, Stella should finally go back to preschool tomorrow. So that will be great to have that filming time. I didn't really have that this last week with ice storm excitement. And then down here is purple. It's family and relationships. It's PM toy pickup. We started working on that this last week. And I think it's very helpful to just like spend 5 or 10 minutes with everybody pitching in and cleaning up, and it really helps make it not as cluttered. It's not that everything's dirty, it's that there's just toy chaos, and I just don't want to step on toys or have to walk around toys. I want it all nice and peaceful and decluttered. And then again, get girls involved with puppy care. They end up feeding him, giving him water, giving him treats, helping me take him in and outside. They play with him. It's a lot of stuff trying to get them involved. And then I need to call my dentist and then also my neurologist. And then over here, health and wellness, we're going to log all the steps in the Conqueror app. I haven't been doing that, but I need to. And then hardcore on the floor, I'm going to try to do that on Tuesdays as well. And again, like all of this workout stuff is dependent on the puppy, because I literally cannot take my eyes off of him. Even when he's kenneled, he has escaped from his little kenneled off area already. He can undo the latch, so I have to lock the latch, and sometimes I don't lock the latch, and if you don't catch him right when he wakes up, he has a pee-pee accident, like all the things. So I really have to keep my eye on him, and I don't know how that's going to work. All my workouts lately have been when Johnny has been home and able to watch the puppy. It's just been kind of rough trying to fit any of this in. So these are all aspirational goals. but I'd like to get 1 day of hardcore on the floor calendar under my belt each week, and then ride most days when possible, and then bar and arms and light weights. Again, all of that just puppy dependent at this point. It's like having a newborn again. It's like I'm lacking sleep. It's just, you have to keep an eye on them 24/7. It's just a lot. So I don't know about any of this. It really depends. And then over here, spiritual and personal growth, I've got AM meditation, pick Amazon books. You get free books if you're an Amazon Prime member, and then AM yoga, and then daily stoic. I've been really enjoying the daily stoic, but it talks about how little you have control over a lot of things, and it really frustrates me because I am a control freak. I want control over everything, and reading it is like, but I want to control everything. So it's kind of hard to read the stuff, but it's much needed. And then over here, financial, stick to budget, freezer meal plan, and then keep grocery spending lower. So I'm trying to stretch out the groceries I did buy so that it will last a little bit longer, and I won't be going, like, generally speaking, we'll get groceries once a week, whether or not we have a couple of days more stuff. So I'm going to stretch it out until we can't possibly go any longer, and then get groceries. And then down here for physical environment, it's just the Power 10. I like the dark teal for this one. I'm going back to that this week since I didn't mess up my other teal. So we've got Power 10. And on here, I would like to also keep up with the puppy stuff, but I didn't end up writing that one out. I felt like that one was a really long, cumbersome one. We're having to vacuum out grass pieces that come in the house because we're all going in and out of the house a bunch of times a day. So it's things like that where I have to vacuum extra. I have to make sure the toys are picked up if he's out and about, you know, things like that. So just keeping track of the puppy chaos. So that is the list. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite these in to this book. All right, there you go. It's the same thing. I reworded things, shortened things. I really like the way that it looks on here, but I find that I struggle fitting as much on here because it is a little bit smaller. But there is a look at this week set up. I'm really excited to dive into this starting today. And there you go. There's what it looks like. I hope you guys like this plan with me. I've been trying to do these every Sunday for you guys. You guys can pull out your planners and do your planning just right along with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to check the description box down below. I've got coupons for various things. I've got links for various things used in this video. So I hope you guys will check those out. Some of them are affiliate links. So if you use my links or my coupon codes, it really helps me out on this channel. I really enjoy being able to share new products with you guys and work with planner companies, and that all helps when you guys use those links. It really helps me out. I hope if you're doing some planner shopping that you'll use my links and support this channel. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys next time. Happy planning and have a great week. Bye.